Are we ready to roll? Being that it's 5:30, we'll open the meeting of the Bourne Board of Health for February 26, 2025. First item on the agenda is attendance. Miguel Prieto.
Here.
Margaret Rialli.
Here.
Dusty.
Here.
Barbara Princiotti.
Yeah.
Bob Collette here. Okay. Second item is 10 Canal Street. Bracken Engineering on behalf of applicant Chief Cannabis LLC. An application of intent for a license to operate a registered marijuana establishment, dispensary, or cultivation center. Mr. Brzezinski.
Hi, for the record, Zach Basinski, professional engineer, Bracken Engineering. Here this evening on behalf of Chief Cannabis LLC. As mentioned, we're here this evening to request approval for the intent to sell marijuana over at 10 Canal Street. So it's the former Friendly site over in Sagamore Beach. Here with me this evening is Ed Dow, one of the partners of Chief Cannabis. So Ed and I are here on behalf of Mike Allen, who is the other partner involved with this. Ed can give you a little bit of Mike's background. Mike's a former police chief up in New Hampshire, got into this and has a few other places.
Yeah, he's worked for me.
Yeah, so he's worked with Ed. So again, I think this is kind of just explain who we are and open it up and then take questions from everybody. And then we do have the floor plans. We can review the SOPs during questions and kind of go take it from there. Right.
Okay.
Ed, do you want
Thanks,
to
Ed.
introduce yourself?
Mr. Dalga, please approach the podium.
Hello, board. Edward Dow, Buzzards Bay. Thank you all for taking your night out for this. I think Zach just explained it pretty well. Forgive me if any of this is redundant because we have presented quite a lot in this room. But we were fortunate enough to win a host community award agreement in the lottery. It wasn't a lottery process, in the application process in Bourne. And now we're here before you looking for the marijuana establishment license. This is a newer thing in the space. I've been in the space for about 7 years now. And Seekonk was the first town that added the Board of Health to do the marijuana license. And it's understandable. I assume it's going to be a local fee or something to that nature yearly. But I'm basically here to answer any questions on behalf of my partner, Mike Allen, Chief Allen. I've worked with him the entirety of my career in cannabis. He was my chief of security when I started Solar Cannabis Co. down in Somerset. And he's just a fantastic person. I was always, and to this day, am leery about partnering up with anyone. But I can't have any more licenses, and I couldn't partner up with a better guy than Mike. So I'm representing him because he's in Mexico, his one vacation of the year, and he hasn't left in like 3 years. And he was like, so I'm here on his behalf, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, you say dispensary or cultivation center, you going to be a grow site?
No, I wanted to correct that. It's dispensary only, and there's no consumption on site allowed.
Anybody else?
I have a question.
Barbara.
Is it just marijuana, or is it like edibles and all the peripherals
Yeah.
that go with it?
Marijuana and marijuana-related products, which could be edibles, it could be tinctures, which is like a liquid, it could be vape cartridges, anything in that nature.
Okay. And then do you think you could just give us verbally like I guess your CV, like just talk to us?
Sure.
Like some of us may have already heard it from other meetings, but maybe just tell us a little bit about about
Yeah,
yourself,
well,
in your
I'm
background.
very thoroughly an Upper Cape resident all my life. I was living in Bourne until 5th grade, where my parents took me over to Falmouth. I was in Falmouth through college, and then as soon as I got out of college, I bought back in Bourne in Yearling Run Road a long time ago. 15 years ago, I'm not sure, but a long time ago. And I've been here ever since, other than a 2-year stint where I did over in Sandwich. during COVID. I was fortunate enough to have a property when all the property prices went insane. So I lived over there for a while, and as soon as I could get back to my hometown, I did. Bought my grandfather's house, which I still live in now, with my family of 3 kids and my wife. And I previously had a company in Bourne, Bay State Metal. It was an anodizing facility which supported primarily Woods Hole Oceanographic, which is where I worked prior to that, and Hydroid and Teledyne. Those were my major clientele. It was mostly servicing underwater submersibles. I did that for a number of years and developed a small nest egg, small enough where I thought I could get into cannabis. It was something I was always passionate about. And a series of events got me fortunate enough to the position where I was able to start a seed round and start up solar cannabis about 7 years ago. And it's only gotten bigger. So it's a tough market. So the town of Bourne was super thorough in their vetting process, which is smart. People are going out left and right now in our industry. So it's really become a mature market that hopefully will start being treated like any other business market. We have a ton of added regulations, obviously, that make it particularly hard for our industry. And yeah, just in the last 2 years, margins are down on products 66%. So it's been substantial. The consolidation that I'm seeing should be coming in the future. But yeah, unfortunately, we're just not allowed to own enough licenses, in my opinion. I would rather own more licenses if I could, but right now, partnering is the best way we can do it.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
One other question, will law enforcement be on site when you're open?
So, if this was 5 years ago, I'd say absolutely. There's always a requirement for the first week, they'd have a police detail and see how it went. They quickly threw that out the window over 5 years ago at this point, just because it wasn't warranted. We used to have, we used to service thousands of people per day.
Yeah.
Now it's down in the 400 range if you have a good, healthy store.
It's manageable.
It's very manageable now. Yep. I will say this: we have a very advanced security system and camera system, which we always extend the right to the police department, the local PD, to access our cameras. They can remotely patch in. Not many towns have taken us up on it. Seekonk maybe, but it is an option that the town has.
I was just worried about your employees. If you get, like you say, 1,000 people in there, it's pretty hard to control.
I wish we had 1,000 people in there. That'd be fantastic. So no, we used to have security on security. Now there's typically 2 security folks, and we don't tell them to engage at all. There's secret monitors under everywhere. All our retail counters, in the check-in lobby. They're not supposed to engage. They're supposed to click the button, get authorities there, and thank goodness we've never had to do that.
It appears that there's always a very controlled environment, right? Up to my understanding, someone who enters the building is
Yeah.
required to produce an ID, and then once they approach the counter.
That's right.
Is there a limit on the quantity of the product that you can sell to an individual? And will you be just offering, processed products like gummies and the tinctures and so forth, or leaf itself?
Flower itself.
Okay.
So that's about 65% of the business. It's still king. Pre-rolls and flour, primarily 8s and ounces, are what the consumer wants. And, 65% of the consumer wants. And then the other 45% is gummies, vape cartridges, and then much further down the list is tinctures and things of that nature, salves, like a hand lotion. And then there's all sorts of odd specialty products that come into the market for a year and then they're gone. Tabasco sauce or things like
Yeah, I know, I've seen that.
butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there, I haven't seen any or heard about any concerns about any, folks going to buy the stuff and then sell it out to outside sources, like sell in the black market, if you will,
No.
illegally.
No, and the limit's only, I forgot to answer it's only 1 ounce per customer. So that's not enough to really
Make anything.
do
Yeah.
much.
Make it-
Yeah,
Right. So it's very strictly controlled.
right.
So that's 1 ounce per day?
Yeah, 1 ounce per
Okay.
day.
What is the minimum age bracket that can go into your premises?
21 plus. Yep,
Same as alcohol.
yep. But that's the same for our hiring process too. We can't hire 18 plus, it's all 21 plus.
Okay.
So comments, I read your business plan and what you were proposing. Very well done.
Thank you.
You know, I saw in details that law enforcement had access to the feeds. I saw that if there was a power failure, you had a
Backup
3-day backup there to, so that's pretty impressive. You hold the footage for 90 days, a month. So, you know, if something happens, they can go back for that. So that's very good. So I'm gonna ask you a question. The fact that you have so much security and so on, it does reflect that the substance, when it's misused, is not harmless.
There's so many studies right now that.
No. Don't argue with me. I'm the doctor.
Oh,
I'm telling
you're-
you,
okay.
when it's misused, it's not harmless.
Sure.
My question is, just like what we have for alcohol, that we have signs that says that, you know, like pregnant women should not be consuming this, and are we gonna have signs like that? And for people to understand the difference when it comes, because they're not doctors, they're not scientists, the difference between absorption, for example, is not the same when you smoke versus when you eat an edible. And I've seen medical reports on patients that they eat something and they have no effect for the first few minutes, and then they overdose, and then they have serious side effects. So we're gonna have that in display.
That is so it's mandatory. The state
Okay.
requires us to not only put it on every package.
It's just I didn't read it here.
Yeah, it's on the packages. We have to have pamphlets, free information pamphlets, which used to be utilized. And you're absolutely right. Edibles, even if it says on the packaging, if it's a new edible user, we call them bud tenders, they're all trained to say, take this and then wait 45 minutes. You might feel it's not doing anything, but wait that 45 minutes because it might whack you pretty hard. And a lot of people get antsy. And to your point, they have more gummies when they don't necessarily need to have gummies. And there are tons of different absorption rates. I actually have a heavy research doctors presence on my board. They were some of my original founders, and they're rheumatologists and they're clinical scientists. And there's nano absorption now, so there's nanoparticulates in distillate. So then it hits you within under 10 minutes. That's been a game changer. That's only been around for a few years, but it seems to be the way the market. I guess alcohol would be a good one. You notice the effects of alcohol pretty quickly, and you notice them stacking up. And for better or worse, the general population has got pretty good at dosing themselves, which sounds like a horrible way to put it, but as a doc, that's what it is. And on THC, we're getting to the point where the edibles are becoming very predictable. Not perfect, and certainly the black market ones, I would say, have a way bigger range of potency that is really unknown. You get a 20 milligram gummy off the street, it could be way more, it could be way less. Our 5 milligram gummies are 5 milligram gummies every single time. The flower, we can talk about it at a future time. I don't want to bore everyone with that, but if you're taking a sample out of a 15-pound batch, I'm sure there's variability in the THC ranges, but that's not something that the CCC has figured out yet, so I can't discuss that here. It's above my pay grade, I'm not sure how to say it, but yeah, gummies we have pretty well dialed in, and the consumers that smoke flower usually know their limits, is all I can say to that.
All right, well, that was my main concern. I just needed to make sure there was some kind of sign or notice to consumers that, you know,
Yeah.
different absorption rates
Well,
and
you're right.
potential side effects.
It sparks a question in my mind. What's the level of training that your associates at the counter have when somebody comes in and asks for a product, they're not quite sure what they want? They think they might want gummies, for instance, to help them sleep or to help them to, ameliorate some anxiety or alleviate some anxiety that they might have. What's the level of training that those folks have, and how do they determine what their recommendation would be for a purchase?
So they have to do specific RVT, responsible vendor training yearly. It's about 8 hours worth of training on that specifically. And that's mandated by the state, and they have to do that as part of their license requirements to carry a license to be able to sell or handle a marijuana product. But also, it's really continuous now. The bud tenders are usually passionate about what they do, and the managers are too, if you have a good one, which I try to only, if to the best of my ability, I try to only have that. So I can say it's all the time. If a new vendor gets in our doors, they're offering free training because they want their product to be understood and sell well. I can really say it's probably on a weekly, if not worst case monthly basis, they're getting ongoing training.
Okay, thank you.
So your product goes through a rigid inspection before you ever see it, then?
To the dispensary, that's correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Back to talking about having warning placards up or labels. Something I noticed was that under the personnel, scope of practice, that they said that people that are working, your staff, that they could not be under the under the influence of alcohol, no alcohol at all. No, of course, no illegal drugs while working, but legal drugs were okay to be under the, that you could be taking them.
Sure.
And because marijuana is legal, but at the same time, it can impair, it can, and so I was thinking, it might be good to categorize it the same as alcohol and say no, no marijuana, no, while you're working either.
We certainly try. I can tell you that. We certainly try.
Because here it doesn't rule out the
Right.
use of marijuana while the staff is actually at work.
That's interesting. I've never, you're saying that's in the state regs?
Yeah, I could show it to you.
Wow, that's interesting. We absolutely try to strongly discourage them from using cannabis on their shift. They are passionate about the plant, but the argument I always make is, if you work at a liquor store, can you be drinking the whole time? So we certainly try to monitor it to the best of our ability. We absolutely don't allow, we say it's not allowed.
Right, it might be good to, I don't know, to stipulate that in your, you have your handbook.
Yeah.
Your staff handbook.
So I think too, with that point is, especially with the idea of the legal versus illegal drugs in that context, is legal drugs are available per prescription, and
Correct.
technically the employer cannot ask a person about their medical history and
Right,
what meds they're taking.
I
So
was
that's,
thinking
I think,
about
where
that.
that's leaning.
Right.
And that's why they have to keep it on, that wording wise for legal professions, so.
Right, right, I was thinking about that, but then I thought, well, alcohol, they say no alcohol at all. So it might be good to, especially in this place where there's plenty available. Because of the impairment.
We'll have to update that.
now, Katie, do you do any inspections after if they get their permit and everything's okay? Do you pull an inspection there, like once a month or whatever?
So yeah, so this would be similar to our other annual permit. So this would be an annual permit that they would pull if the board supported such. And when they're finished licensing with the state, they would finish up that permit with us. We would do a pre-operational inspection, and then just like our tobacco establishments, food establishments, it would be I think it's only mandated that it's within our regulations that it's once per year. And then anytime that there's a complaint related to the Board of Health regulations, where we would just verify that, they meet the compliance to the regulations that you guys have set forth.
I apologize, because I'm a greenhorn and know nothing
Well, this
about
is the first
stuff.
time, Dusty, so we have not done an inspection, we have not permitted anybody, so this would be the first time. So we're all green.
And a question to
Yeah.
you then, does the location meet with all the requirements from the
Yes.
the town, so on and so?
So they didn't have to ask for any variances from any of the regulations, and they have a new septic system that was finished this past year that is adequate for what they are proposing.
Right, and it appears that they've gone through all the necessary steps up to this point, right? And so we're the next thing, and then, next hurdle, and then we continue on from there. Planning board tomorrow night, yeah. I believe we're the only town around this area, or maybe on the whole Cape, that doesn't have any dispensaries as of yet, right? I think, I travel the whole Cape and,
Hyannis, but you
Hyannis.
go, yeah, that's probably.
oh, right, and then, but they're in the process as well, right? Or they just-
It's a little bit muddied over there at the
Oh,
moment.
things are off and on
Yeah.
there. So I work with that
Yeah,
town a lot, yeah, it's
yeah.
not easy. Not easy to navigate,
And now
Anything.
there's a little bit of movement in Falmouth too.
yeah.
Now, Bob, will this fall under your jurisdiction? No.
It's the State Cannabis Control Commission. Yeah. No. So, and there's no, they're not allowed to sell tobacco from,
Yeah.
No.
under the regulations. So, no, it has nothing, I have nothing to do with it, they have nothing, totally separate. Okay. Katie, did
Just
you-
one other comment, I did speak with Chief Esip this afternoon. He has a message to reach out to them to go over some of their security plans. He has not yet looked over the security plans. But he did ask that if you guys were to do a vote of support today, that it be contingent upon them sitting down and going over that together. And Sean Lewis, the assistant town planner, said that that's something that they're gonna have for their whole process, as well as that the police department will approve the security plan, not the planning department.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So our approval tonight, if, would,
It's not an approval.
what is
We're
it?
either doing a letter of no opposition or support,
Right.
So our support
or
tonight.
non-opposition.
What is the next step?
So they would take that, they were gonna go to planning board for a site plan review, and I think that's it for them. And then the state licenses will follow with that. Once the state issues them a finalized license, they will get a sales permit through the health department.
From what I understand, it's already been in front of the Board of Selectmen.
Yes, they have the HCA.
So it's only a three-step program? In other words, as there was us and then...
Dusty, look at this flow chart. It is much more than 3 steps.
They were doing nothing, so this is entertaining them.
Yeah, exactly. To keep them busy.
There's a lot of people for them to deal
Yeah.
with, yeah. A lot of boards.
No, it's a very long process, and there's a lot of checks that they have to go through, and this is towards the end of the actual town side of it. Then the state just kind of has to do their finalized agreement, and then we just finalize our annual permit with them. And Margaret, yes, it would be the board tonight, so this is their application of intent is what's before you today. And so you would vote to either issue a letter of support or non-opposition, or you could ask for a continuance for more information.
Is support equal to non-opposition,
So,
or is that another option?
So they're equal in the same that, you're not saying that they can't have a permit, you're just saying that the board is not supporting a marijuana establishment, but they're not opposing one.
Okay.
So you can choose how you want to word it, and I'll word it whichever way you want to.
Let me just say this as part of the Board of Health, this is not just marijuana, any substance, and that includes alcohol, tobacco. I don't care if you're gonna smoke basil, it's not good for you. You know, any substance that has potential harm, I will strongly suggest we put out a letter of non-opposition based on the current laws, but we're not certainly gonna support any of these things. As the Board of Health, I mean, like, it's like if you went to the doctor to buy cigarettes, or,
Right.
Right,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
I'm on board with
I
that.
agree.
Any other questions from anybody? Entertain a motion. For
So
whatever.
the motion would be for non-opposite. We would,
Sure, you
this,
can do this. Yeah, and then
okay.
everybody would have to vote on it.
So I move, I'll make a motion that we for non-opposition to the application of intent for license to operate a registered marijuana establishment dispensary here in the town of Bourne.
Second?
Do
Or
we
any
have
other
to say for who it
comments?
was? Do we have to say for who it is?
Yeah, you got it? For who it is,
Okay.
for the name of the company, yeah.
Include who it is, for Bracken, well, for Chief Cannabis LLC. I make a motion that, of non-opposition for the Chief Cannabis application for a license to operate registered marijuana establishment dispensary in, do I have to give the address?
It would be helpful. You don't have to, but 10 Canal Road.
10 Canal Street in
Canal Street,
Sagamore.
Nagasaki, okay.
So just, I would do another second on that.
Yeah. Anybody second, for a second?
I'll second.
Barbara, second. Miguel?
Aye.
Dusty?
Yes.
Bob, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, good luck moving forward.
Thank you very much. Tomorrow in front of Planning Board, this would be the first time ever if we make it through in one. But we've been in front of them about a dozen times prior,
We'll find out.
so.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone. I'm happy to discuss that with you anytime you would like. I knew you were passionate about it. I remember this, in this town meeting.
No, there's data out there.
Yeah.
I know there's data on both sides, but the data doesn't like.
Yeah.
But that's okay. This is not the forum for that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's-
Okay. Agenda item number 3, any public comment on non-agenda items? Seeing nobody from the public here, I will assume there is none. And number 4, Health Director's Report. Katie?
I have nothing new for you guys today. We are, as from of the last meeting, you know, the bird flu is still the same. It's looking like it's trending downwards, but we are still monitoring that. Flu levels continue to rise, and we're seeing some extreme neurological symptoms in children as well, which is concerning. So,
Secondary to the flu?
yes, to the flu.
You seen a lot
So
of that,
a
Miguel?
public notice has come
Well,
out.
I don't see kids, but yes, but we're seeing influenza.
Yeah,
yes.
a lot of it. My
Yes.
daughter's family was all
So if you're sick,
3 of them, yeah, a couple weeks ago.
stay home.
Yeah. Well, were we able to get any information in the newspaper about?
Nothing in the newspaper, but we did issue a public notice that went out across the town's website. It has a red banner that anyone
Okay.
can click on it, and it was
Okay.
shared to social media platforms as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
You know, I don't know if this is too technical, but if we could include to that notice that if you develop a cold with congestion and pain in your chest when you cough, you have to call your doctor. Don't go, just call your doctor within 24 hours, because the window for that Tamiflu is very short for it to be effective.
Oh.
And, you know, I'm not gonna wait to get a positive flu test
Right.
to give you treatment.
Well, tidbits of information like that, I think is so helpful for, to share with people,
And,
share
you
with the
know,
public.
I don't think any doctor will deny treatment if you have those symptoms,
Yeah,
the congestion and tenderness here when you cough.
gotcha.
Can absolutely do that.
Okay. All right. Okay, agenda item number 5, any comments from the board regarding future agenda items?
Yes.
Miguel?
So I have comments on the health event. So I got a little sidetracked because I went down south to see my mom, and so she's stable, not good, but stable. But I do have an upcoming appointment with, what's his name? Nolan Leroy. He's the vocational director from the
Up there.
Upper Tech.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to then get the students from both nursing and culinary school there. I know you ladies told me I need to talk to someone,
Maria
Yeah.
Simone, yep.
so I have to come this Friday when I'm finally off, come and see if I can talk to her. I reached to the person who is in charge of PR at Cape Cod Healthcare to see what they will, see how much they will be willing to sponsor, whatever that means, or man the stations. I want to have the 6 lifestyle medicine pillar stations. So one is about nutrition, the other one is exercising, the other one is about sleep. I have them all here. So avoiding risky substances. Yes. Well, and that includes alcohol and tobacco, and yes.
Yeah.
And so I like them to talk about that to the population. I guess based on the permitting, we're limited to the number of patients that, no, people that can participate
Yes,
in
I
the
think-
walk or the run.
Yeah, that would be a question for the Army Corps or Maria. Maria,
Well, they
like-
put a limitation there.
They did, okay.
You have
So-
to register them?
So that I will ask this lady
Yeah,
if
she's
that's something
run a couple of them, or at least help plan them, so she'll have more
to
information.
see if we can, and then what's gonna happen if someone comes, they cannot go to the stations, I would like them to do the stations
Yeah.
anyways, you know? Because this is not really just that you went and ran, we're not timing people, we're not gonna do that. The whole point is just to get the knowledge out and get people to change their lifestyles. And so after I meet with these people, we'll have a better idea of what exactly we're gonna be standing in. I'll talk to this lady, what was her name again?
Maria Simone.
Maria Simon. I'm off Friday, so I'll come Friday and talk to her.
Have we decided on a date yet? Was it
May
June?
10th is, no, is, that May 10th is one the U.S. Corps of Engineers had available for us. And we
Okay.
have a rain date for the 24th, which I believe is Memorial Day weekend.
The weekend, yeah,
Is it May 10th, Mother's Day weekend?
Memorial Day weekend.
Do we know what time?
Probably,
Yes,
yeah.
that's their contingent.
Oh, is it Mother's Day weekend? Oh, shoot. Well, but Mother's Day is Sunday, this
Yes,
will be
it's on a
Saturday.
But do
Saturday.
we have like a time that we're starting?
Right, and then I'm gonna finalize that. Hopefully we'll be between, like, start at 9 and be done by 10.
And then the
Or
other
11.
question is, you've been spearheading and doing everything yourself, like,
Right.
do you need help?
I've been trying.
You know, so I
know.
have time
Like,
available if you
I'm
need
the one
help.
who has to meet with the people. I don't
Okay.
know how to delegate
Just let us
that.
know, because I have time. If you need help, just let me know. Whatever you need, even if you need somebody to, I don't know, who knows?
Okay, so
type
once I
something.
meet with
It's
them, and
whatever.
if they tell me this is what needs to be done, I'll be happy to spread
We just
that.
don't want you to do it all, I feel like you have to do it all yourself. Like,
Right.
happy to help, happy to jump in if you
Okay.
need help, because
But,
obviously,
you know, it will be nice if we get this to be a yearly thing and more people become more health
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
conscious. Because what's gonna, so the way we're trying to save money to the healthcare system and to our country is by not using the system. And I think that would be wonderful if you don't need it. But if you need it, you don't want to have your care ration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to have access to, I mean, thank God we have the technology, but we got to use it. But if we change our lifestyles to the point that you don't need to use the healthcare system that much, well, that would be wonderful. That's what I'm trying to
yeah.
achieve.
And Miguel, how many people did they limit that could actually do the run?
Oh, I believe that it was up to 500 people.
Oh, that's a
They
lot.
have people like running or walking and, you
Yeah,
know.
they were different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a
And
good
there are
number.
It'd be a
different
challenge to
numbers.
get that many the first time, but
So
That's a good
I will
number.
put them all as walking so we can have a higher number. If they want to run, it's up to them. They just walk
They're
fast.
fast walkers.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know,
least
we're
they're
not
out there
timing
doing it.
them, we're not giving them medals and
Yeah, right.
You said a rain date of May 24th?
Yes.
That's Memorial Day weekend.
It
I know,
is.
but those are the only 2 days they had available.
It was very interesting because they didn't want to, like, they limit it in the summer because it gets busy.
Yeah.
And me and
Yeah.
Stacy kind of laughed at the rain date because we're like, oh, because it's not busy on Memorial Day weekend.
Even on Mother's Day, it's a good promotion anyway, because then you can bring mom out, we want you to live a long time, we want you to be healthy, we all want to be, you know what I mean? That's a kind of like a good selling point too.
And one of the pillars is about getting outside, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the health department has some things we can donate. We have some tick socks. So Peruvian treated socks for
Ooh.
children and adult sizes that we can donate to give out at that event as well.
Okay.
That's wonderful. They last, I don't,
It was
how many washes?
I think it was
Those,
like
those ones were
70
hefty,
washes.
actually,
Yeah.
that was, it was higher than most clothing that you see
Yeah.
Okay,
treated.
because when you treat yourself, you buy the permethrin from Amazon and you spray the clothes. You let them dry. I think it's 6 washes.
Yeah,
it
that sounds
lasts.
about right.
Right.
It was, yeah. When I read the wash
Yeah.
on it, I was like, oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
high.
The pre-treated ones tend to have a longer lifespan, but we were very impressed by that, 70 washes.
We got them
That's a
through a
lot.
public health excellence grant, this past year with the county, so.
Okay.
Nice.
I tell people, I'll tell you, take a deep breath.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Can you smell that?
I was breathing through my mouth.
That's all the lime on the Cape. It's everywhere. Yeah, so absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right.
Oh, wait, I have one more thing, just that
Yeah.
maybe, should we be, since we now have a marijuana facility, like, is this one, this marijuana updates have to be like public meetings, or should we be updating this a little, just updating
So
this?
yeah, any regulation changes, so any meetings we have will have to be publicly acknowledged. But I mean, if there's things that you want me to include, I can create a draft, and then that can come before the board at a public hearing that's been advertised.
Yeah.
All right, so
I was
maybe
gonna
think about
ask.
that for the future.
Yeah, does this reflect the current
So,
state
not
regulations?
really. It kind of, but they're still changing. They're in the middle of a change right now, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're evaluating on-site consumption.
So yes, so I mean, you guys can be more stringent from the state, so if you as a board are opposed to on-site consumption, that can absolutely be in our regulations.
Yeah.
And keep that the same. But yeah, if there's things within there that you want to see changed, or if you've read the Cannabis Control Commission's lengthy regulations, and
Yeah.
you think that there's something that's misrepresented, absolutely.
I haven't
Can
read
change
theirs, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
And I
That-
saw the date on this too, and Barbara pointed it out to me earlier, I'm like, we
It was
might need to
changed
revisit
many and
this.
many times, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
because I'm sure there have been several changes to the state law.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think on one, like, similar to you having the warnings, I think some vendor we had here had to have an actual sign, like like he's saying the pamphlets, nobody's taking them anymore, and people are probably not reading the packages anymore, like, either. But it's like, I think somewhere, like some vendor with the cigarettes, we made sure there was a sign posted, like, on the door or somewhere
I
else.
think we should do that.
You know, maybe
'cause
we just have them do a
Other
sign,
than
like
that,
you're
this was
saying.
pretty
Yeah, they did a good.
well
job.
done.
This is really well done, yeah.
No, I read the whole 90
Yeah.
pages, you know, and it's very well done, and they have like redundancy and stuff, so I understand that. And I'm trying to look at it from a non-biased.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I saw that was not here, which I brought up, was the
Signage.
the signage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also was impressed that this, you know, it's a former police chief that owns the place, you know, so at least you know there's gonna be some sense of responsibility there. But these licenses are so valuable that I haven't heard many stories about any of them running amok of their responsibilities or the law.
No, because they want to keep the license.
Yeah, so they're towing the line, and they're, you know, as far as I can see and what I know, is they're doing a great job at controlling who comes in, how much stuff is going out. And so I asked those specific questions, and I don't hear anything about people buying it and then selling it on the street, you know.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are
That's
people
because you
that buy
can't buy
it.
that much at a time.
Right,
Yeah.
so that's right. It's good, it's an important restriction.
And that's a good point too, like, you can buy, I mean, I don't use it, but like, I don't know, is 1 ounce, you know, if you can get 1 ounce a day, and you get.
It's a lot.
Go all
you
over.
get- And then you can get it every single
If
day.
That's the thing.
You know,
right?
like, are they tracking who, you know, like, is there
Yeah.
some sort of tracking mechanism?
Well, you do have
or-
to show your license, right? I mean, I know what you're saying. Are they networking to say, oh, did this person buy here?
Yeah, so they have to show their license. I'm sorry, Barbara.
No,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay.
I said, there must be, I bet you there's some tracking mechanism
Like
that
a
shows.
Computer
Buying it.
bank
Yeah.
that holds, because you could go to 3 different places
Exactly.
in one day.
Exactly,
and-
that's what I'm thinking must be. I
Yeah,
can't be sure about that, but the state's probably watching
That'd
that.
be a good
Yeah.
question.
For
Yeah.
sure. And I did speak with Zach earlier today and asked a couple questions to clarify. And they do have, when they go in, it's a ID scanning machine that is scanned in, and that data is kept on file for, I think it was 3 months before it gets
Okay,
washed, and then it starts fresh. So,
yeah.
so every time you go into that specific building, anyways, you're tracked. So,
Yeah, it's my understanding that when you go in, they ask you right away,
yeah.
and then if they have like on a counter that you approach, and then you're asked again for it, so,
Yeah.
you know, within within a couple of minutes, you're showing two different people.
Well, it wouldn't be the best
And they
thing.
do scan it, right?
Yes,
So
they scan
yeah.
Your license, so
Yeah.
that's going to the state probably.
Right.
Well, we should find, it is kind of interesting,
Yeah,
you know, because if you can do it for 3 months and then it clears after 3 months, you know, you can be stockpiling a lot of stuff.
yeah. You could
I don't know.
potentially. I
It's
suppose.
interesting, it's very interesting. I think it's progressive for us and we should have, you know,
But where it's so new, it'll take a while for everybody to get them adjusted, right?
Right.
The state
Yeah.
make rulings and things
Yeah.
of this. And it's a learning experience, but
Yeah.
Wareham's had it for a while.
Yeah.
and
I
it was
know.
crazy there in Wareham before, because remember, that's the cut through to get to, like, shopping for us and other things, but it used to be crazy going through that Narrows Crossing. And
Yeah.
now it's like real quiet,
Yeah,
to his
you know,
point, you know?
I
It was
go,
one of
"Yeah."
the first ones around
Yeah,
here, so,
yeah.
yeah, that was the,
Like, people were flocking from
there was lines
everywhere.
out the door
Yeah.
for a
Right.
while, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't know, maybe we put this on a later agenda item?
Yeah.
even? I
And
don't know,
start
I
at
mean,
least
probably
updating the
still-
code citations, and then, any comments you guys have individually, feel free to send it to me, and I'll include that in a draft, so.
But including the signage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then, when do you want to do that, Katie? So, because you know us, we need good ones.
I mean, do we want to aim to start public meetings maybe in this early spring?
Yeah, whatever, I mean, I'm comfortable
think
with
so.
whatever works for you
Okay,
all.
yeah, so, I'll try and put together like a timeline, and then send it up to you guys.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important, because I don't know what their timeline is. I know they have a few more
Yeah.
hoops to jump through, but,
Yep.
you know,
And then we do
should
have a
have
s-
these in place before they open.
And we do have a second one that, business that was given an HCA from the select board,
Right.
who is, I guess, making moves. I haven't heard anything yet, so
Yeah, so they'll be coming
there'll be
before us.
another
It's-
person coming before us.
Yeah, you know where the old Atlantic Car Wash was?
Yeah, MacArthur
Yeah, so
Boulevard.
that- same thing.
Did they close for,
Yeah, same people though are doing this, so at some
Okay.
point, they'll be coming before us in the same way that these folks did tonight.
And then when we're issuing, like, that's another interesting thing, like, even on the annual permit, like, if this is the first one, we've never done one. So is it a letter? Is it like,
So
like,
I-
we should get a sample of what we think we're
So yeah,
gonna
we
do.
have a draft permit that what it
Yeah.
looks like. We have a draft, I will redo the draft letter of non-opposition. It's from like the original regs that came through, so they're not really applicable. But I'll send it to you guys before I issue it, so you can approve that that's what you want it to look like. And then the actual marijuana sales permit application is through our OpenGov website, and then the permit would look very similar to like a tobacco license.
Yeah, okay.
With the applicable information on it, so.
Okay.
if I remember, we only have 3 sites approved for the whole town, is that
You could
correct?
have 3.
Is it 3 or 2?
Yes, the regulations, their bylaw, the town bylaw has 3 allowable.
Oh.
The select board has only selected 2 for an HCA.
Yeah.
All right, so there's an open license, an open. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not too worried about these people and what they do, because they've got so much time and money invested to get to this point.
Yeah, so, yes, that's why, I mean, they toe the line, as far as I can see, on, you know, following the laws and the regulations that they're supposed to. And there's too much on the line for them, you know, to run askew of what they're supposed to be doing. So,
And I imagine it must take one or more people just to do the reporting of the daily sales intake and all of this. I imagine it's quite extensive.
sure, you must have a whole staff that's responsible for that, I don't know, but.
But I don't know, since we did not in opposition, should we not talk about that, like, anymore? Instead of, just so that way we're not biasing anybody.
No, no, no. I hear you.
It's a good idea.
Okay, so any other comments from the board for future agenda items? All right, so we have a stack of minutes to approve. I guess we can go back to the most distant ones, October 9th. Everybody get a chance to review these and,
Yes.
okay.
I was not there for October 9th, that's the only
Okay.
one I was not present.
Okay, so,
So we'll abstain on
I
that.
have no comments on it. Is that how we should do it, Bob? Just go through it?
Just go through them one at a time.
Yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion. If no one has any comments or changes for October 9th, entertain a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve the October 9th, 2024 minutes.
Okay?
Second.
Second. Margaret?
Yes.
Okay, Miguel's abstaining, and I, yes. Okay. Meeting minutes from October 23rd. I do have a question about these, and I was not present for this meeting, but was the, on number 2, Dusty had made a motion for, this is 819 Head of the Bay Road. The work was supposed to be completed by December 23rd of 2024. Was that completed, do we know?
Yes.
It is.
They were completed, I believe, by the middle of November.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I have just one comment in general, too, on the minutes, and this is about Dusty. Like, we kind of list him as Dusty Meyer on some, William Dusty Meyer on others. Like, everybody in the town kind of knows him as Dusty, but the public, like, if it's somebody else, like maybe not in our town or something, so should we just call him William Meyer, like his legal name? Because he's the only one who use a nickname. I don't know. I'm just asking. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I mean, in most cases, we only put the first name in the attendance, and the rest is just Ms., Mr.
Yeah, so
So we
it was
can
just a
keep-
curious question, because I've never noticed it before.
Yeah.
Until I saw that William quote Dusty.
Okay.
In one of these, I did notice there was a typo where my name was put in place of, but that was, I think it's coming up, so
Okay, perfect.
I'll look it up, I have it here.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 23rd.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from October 23rd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Meyer?
Yes.
Yes.
Margaret, yes. And I will abstain since I was not here for that. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I was here, obviously. Yes.
We didn't want to tell you,
I was
Bob.
looking at the top link there, wait a minute.
Wait, October
was-
23rd? It doesn't have you here.
I'm sorry, the
Have
9th.
you there?
All right, I'm sorry, I was looking at the 9th
Oh,
there.
all right.
Oh, here we are.
So we need to abstain.
I need to abstain, right?
Yeah.
I think Barbara was
Sorry,
already
Liz.
on.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll have to look it up.
Okay.
There was one of, and the
I
one
was
that
sick during that meeting.
was over in Tohoto, the property that was in Tohoto, and it had 3 ladies that owned it. I'm trying to, and I didn't write it down on
Yes.
these because I just got these, but I made a note that just my name was inserted in place of one of the owners' names.
27 Weedamo. Yeah.
Was that the 11th?
Yes, December 11th.
Yes, okay, so that's still coming up. Okay. I was rummaging around looking to find it. Okay.
Okay. So then we have the special meeting from November 13th.
Oh,
Focusing
Is that
on the 141 Williams Ave.
Did we see the last of that or no?
What?
Did we see the last of that?
For us, yeah. I'm not sure where
here we go.
it is. in the-
Don't jinx us.
Okay, so Barbara has made a motion to approve.
I second.
Okay.
Yes.
Margaret? Meyer?
Abstain, I was
Abstain.
not
He's
present.
not here. Okay, and Bob, yes. Now, a regular meeting from November 20th, 2024.
Okay.
Any questions or entertain a motion to approve?
I wasn't here, so.
Okay.
So I make a motion to approve the minutes from November 20th, 2024.
I'll second it.
Okay. Margaret, second.
Yes.
Mr. Meyer, yes. Bob, yes.
Have we seen this materialize? Those naloxone boxes?
Yeah, that's happening.
Is happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
They submitted for a grant from the select board to help pay for purchasing the boxes. So that has been granted. I believe they went before the select board and got approval for the community building. Not sure about the other ones. The library was approved. And, yeah, I think, so those are the first two they're gonna start with.
Okay. Okay, the meeting from December 11th, 2024.
This was the one.
We found it, we'll
Somebody
make
was
that
cutting-
change.
Yeah, okay. It's nothing. I do this
Yeah,
all the
that's
time.
right.
You cut and paste, you cut and paste. So the woman's name was Margaret Ward, but it says Miss Reale Ward.
Yeah.
That's my big change.
Mine says that, reality word.
You were wondering about that. You thought I owned that house.
So I'll make a motion to approve the December 11th minutes, subject to the change of the name.
I said,
Okay. Second, okay. You go, yes,
Yes.
yes. Well, yes. And January 7th,
That was the joint meeting.
yes, okay. I have to read these over.
I was in here that one.
Okay, yeah. We recall this is the joint meeting with the select board.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from January 7th, the joint meeting with the select board. Unless there's any discussion.
Second, go ahead.
All right?
Yes.
Miguel, yes. Bob, yes. And then the virtual meeting from February 12th.
I'll make a motion to approve the February 12th, 2025 minutes.
Okay,
The kudos to the ladies for getting it all done.
right? It's okay, we have a motion to approve February 12th minutes. Anybody? Second?
I second.
Well, second, Margaret?
Yes.
William?
Abstain.
Stan? Bob, yes. No, just had another thought. I was wondering about that house over in Sagamore Beach that has been cleaning up,
That woman.
that woman's home. Do we have any further information on how she's doing, or, I always thought maybe if we could get like a coalition of people together with pickup trucks and dump stickers to,
Yes. I want to
help out.
say the end of January was one of her most recent check-ins, and Dion spoke with her after going and looking at the property, and she's made some more progress, and at this point, kind of going to the dump twice a week with her small load that she can bring in her car, so.
Yeah.
She's making progress. There's nothing left out there. I mean, at this point in time, I'm not worried about, mosquito breeding, but nothing is out there that's collecting water. And there's not as many items that I'm concerned about harborage or pests anymore. So
Right.
she's doing a really good job.
The important part of that is she's continuing to do something,
Yeah.
not letting it die.
it occurred to me as I was reading through earlier, and, what would it take to get a group of other, caring citizens together, let's say 4 or 5 people with pickup trucks to give you an hour or two on a Saturday afternoon, or Saturday morning or something, to go over, load up what you can get rid of, and take it all down to the landfill. I mean, or for her even to pay, let's say if somebody has a trailer here, she can rent a trailer from the U-Haul for $25 for the day, and do something like that, just to help her. I mean, there's so many ways of helping. I just don't know. But instead of her, filling up her back seat a couple times a week to go,
Yeah.
it would just help, and I'm sure it would take a lot of stress off of her and a lot of, a lot of angst off of the neighbors that are really concerned about the appearance of her property and what have you.
I believe she's pretty active on Facebook, so maybe that's a suggestion.
Yeah,
Because
just reach
I do
out.
know people have given, like, pet food and things like that.
Mhm.
I've noticed that, so, without saying anybody's names right now,
No,
but
I know,
I think they've
yeah.
given, pet, things like that, so it does seem like there's people willing to help out.
The community members are,
Yeah.
working with her, so that's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's just an idea. You know,
Mhm.
this is-
It's a good idea. We could keep it in mind for anybody in the future too, that
Right.
it sounds like she's made enough progress that she would not need us to do that, but if you decided that it was piling up again,
I'm sure there are items that she can't fit into her car either,
Yeah.
or are too heavy for her to handle, and, you know, they're still sitting there and what have you. It's just,
I mean,
Is
I'd be
it
willing to-
possible, Katie, to have Dion stop down there and snap some pictures?
We have some, I don't know. if
So
he-
we know,
Yeah.
is it a tremendous
Yeah.
amount?
I
or
don't know
is
if he
it-
took any the last time he was there, because he was with her, I think. But we have a few from the last
Yeah.
checkup before that, I mean, it's not the most organized yard in the world, but it's not the most horrific I've ever seen.
right.
It's not like over the head of the bay,
Our
yeah, he's gone.
pre-clearing, yeah, not like that.
Oh, okay.
Well, Dusty, the next one's you, right? The next number on the agenda is Dusty. The last
Oh,
item.
I'm avoiding you. Treat
Okay.
you like my wife, I'm avoiding.
Then you must adore me the way you
Oh,
adore her.
that's right. Okay, so, number 7, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is what I was talking about,
That's
Dusty,
right.
your favorite part of the meeting. 7.
I don't want the meeting to end, because she's gonna beat the hell out of me when we get outside.
That's so mean. Okay, then I'll make the motion to adjourn, so we can get to that quicker. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll second it.
All right, perfect.
Where's the back door?
There we go.
Yes.
Right there. Okay. Thank you very much. Nice to see everybody.